Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec, back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are in TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2025 event. This is Splunk Basics Did You SIEM? Learn how to ingest and parse custom log data using Splunk. And this is day 3 of Advent of Cyber. So we're going to get into some neat things with Splunk and take a look around. Now, I've already started up the machine that we are going to be accessing. So I'm just going to scroll down here. And this is what we'll need today. So just go ahead and take this as a reference and start up everything to get it ready to go. All right. So once it's up and running, the link's going to be down here. Okay. We're going to get to everything here in a second, but I just want y'all to go ahead and start this to save some time for you. Okay. Now, if you want to help support the channel, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload to the channel. Without further delay, let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it here. Task number 1, introduction, the story. It's almost Christmas in Wareville, and the team of the Best Festival Company, TBFC, is busy preparing for the big celebration. Everything is running smoothly until the SOC dashboard flashes red. A ransom message suddenly appears. Okay. Attack 1,000 Hopsec coins for McSkitty or Stockmas ends tonight. Woo. Very scary. The message comes from King Malhair, the jealous ruler of Hopsec Island, who's tired of Easter being forgotten. He's sent his bandit bunnies to attack TBFC's systems and turn Christmas into his new holiday, Eastmas. With McSkitty missing and the network under attack, the TBFC SOC team will utilize Splunk to determine how the ransomware infiltrated the system and prevent King Malhair's plan from being compromised before Christmas. Learning objectives: ingest and interpret custom log data in Splunk, create and apply custom field extractions, use search processing language SPL to filter and refine search results, conduct an investigation within Splunk to uncover key insights. Also, check out my channel for anything related to Splunk, or check that description box for any resources for Splunk. Connect to the machine. We already went over this earlier. The machine's already started. I have it open up in another tab here using this link here. It says, note, if you get a 502 error when accessing the link, please give the Splunk instance more time to fully boot up. We are ready to go. I mean, here we go right there. So I have access to Splunk instance. Okay. Task number 2 here, log analysis with Splunk, exploring logs. In the Splunk instance, the data has been pre-ingested for us to investigate the incident. On the Splunk interface, click on search and reporting on the left panel as shown below here. Okay, search and reporting. On the next page, type in index equals main. I'm just going to copy and paste because I'm lazy. Not really, but it's easier. So in the search bar, to show all the ingested logs, note that we will need to select all time as the time frame from the drop down on the right side here. Okay, so we need to change that because we didn't do that. All time, and here we go. Sweet. After running the query, we will be presented with 2 separate data sets that have been pre-ingested into Splunk. We can verify this by clicking source type field in the fields list on the left page. Okay. So we should see something like this once we do that. Okay, and here's the left panel. There's source type. There we go. We got web traffic and firewall logs. The 2 datasets are as follows. Web traffic. This data source contains events related to web connections to and from the web server. Firewall logs. The data source contains the firewall logs showing the traffic allowed or blocked. The local IP assigned to the web server is 10.10.1.15. Let's explore the logs and investigate the attack on our servers to identify the culprit. Initial triage. Start a basic search across the index using your custom search or source type, which is web traffic, using the following query. So index equal main, and then source type equals web traffic. And we should get something that looks like this. And they're going to explain this in a second. All right, so let's get this ready to go. So we're just going to fire this off. And let's see here. Assuming they want us to leave it the same as all time. Yeah. Obviously, in the real world, you probably don't want to do that, depending on how much data you got in Splunk, because that can take a long time. Right? Splunk is already kind of slow when trying to sift through things that are, you know, that happened earlier in the year or what have you, right? So if you go back like a year or whatever, Splunk sometimes can take a long time to finish running whatever query, but you can run it as a job in the background until it finishes, right? Just make sure the job doesn't expire. But anyway, So we have our query out here, up here in the search box, all time. We went ahead and ran it, 17,172 events, okay? And we got some events here in the middle section here, and we still have the left pane here. We have different interesting fields right there, and then these are the selected fields we have. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can also extract new fields if you plan on going that route. I know sometimes there's like extra fields you can choose from that aren't displayed here in like the real world. Just take that as a little interesting tidbit. But anyway, let's break down our result for better understanding. Search query. This query retrieves all the events from the main index that were tagged with the custom source type web traffic. This marks the beginning of the investigation, right? That's there in that search box we just saw there. Um, 2, time range. Time range currently set to all time. And security analysis, this range would be tightened. Example, the spike window after initial data loading. Okay, we can see that here. It looks like the spike window they're talking about there. Timeline. This visual histogram shows the distribution of 17,172 events over time. This graph indicates the successful daily log volume followed by the distinctive traffic spike, a period of high activity, likely the attack window. Number 4, selected fields. Okay, we went over this. These are fields that are currently chosen to be displayed in the summary section of the events list. You get host, summary, and source type. They represent basic metadata about the log itself. And then we have interesting fields. And this pane lists all the fields that Splunk has automatically extracted or manually added. Fields prefixed with the pound example would be pound date hour are automatically generated by Splunk's time commands. The presence of user agent, path, and client IP confirms the successful parsing of the web log structure. Events, details, and field extraction. This section shows the parsed details of the single event with extract fields like user agent, path, status, client, IP, and more. Now that we have an understanding of Splunk, layout, and how to read the logs in Splunk, let's continue our analysis of the logs. Okay, sweet. And let's see here. It says visualizing the logs time frame. Let's chart the total event count over time, grouped by day, to determine the number of events captured per day. This will help us in identifying the day that received an abnormal number of logs. Okay, so we're just going to get this ready to go. Let's scroll down to the questions real quick, make sure we didn't miss anything. There's a lot of stuff in this one, it looks like. Wow. Okay, what is the attacker IP found? All right, so we're gonna have to get further on down in this room, looks like, before we can even start answering questions. So let's go back to where I was at. So we're going to plug this in here, okay? And I'm going to hit enter, let it run. We should see something like this. The above results are now showing the event logs captured per day. This could be interesting as we can see some days getting a high volume of logs. We can also click on the visualization tab to examine the graph for better representation as shown below. All right, so we have all the dates and stuff there. It looks like counts over there, visualization. There we go. We can append reverse function at the end to display the results in descending order, showing the day with the maximum number of events at the beginning. So just wanted to copy and paste everything out of here. But we should see something like this. It says, there's a clear period of intense activity during which King Malheur launched his attack phase. All right, so here we go. Right. Okay, and then you can see down here, there's a bunch of events here, I guess. Look at that. Anomaly detection. Now that we have examined the days with the abnormal logs, using the table and the graph, let's use the same search query to examine various fields to hunt for suspicious values. We need to go back to the events tab to continue. Okay, so let's go do that. Events tab. User agent. Let's click on the user agent on the left side here. Okay, click on it. As shown below, it will show us details about the user agents captured so far. So a lot of stuff here. Automatic SQL injection, that sounds interesting there. SQL map stuff. Upon closer examination, it becomes clear that apart from the legitimate user agents like Mozilla variants, we are receiving large amounts of suspicious ones, which we'll need to investigate further. So client IP, the second field we examine is client IP, which contains IP addresses of the clients accessing the web server. We can immediately see one particular IP address standing out, which we will investigate further. So let's do that here. There's client IP, and we can see that here, this one here. Okay. and they have it marked out. So I'm assuming that's the one we need, probably. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it real quick so we don't forget. Path. The third field we will examine is path, which contains the URI being requested and accessed by the client IPs. The results shown below clearly indicate some attacks worth investigating. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that here. You can see all this interesting stuff. Research test ID equals 1. You can see some SQL injection looking activity here, perhaps, and some other things here. It looks like they're trying to get access to PassWD there, right? All right, so let's flip over to here and go to path, and we have something similar. All right, let's jump down to the questions real quick. Okay, what is attacker IP found? Attacking compromised the web server. It was probably going to be this one here, most likely. Which day was the peak traffic in the logs? Um, okay, so let's see if we can just get that real quick. I think it was under visualization, right? And this appears to be the date, 10/12. Let's see here. Okay, and what is the count of the Havage user agent events found in the logs? Okay, so we'll probably get down to that here in a minute, but let's get back to events. And we're talking about path for the last one, right? Okay. Actually, we can probably look at this user agent one real quick because it's asking about path here. How many path reversal attempts to access the sensitive files on the server were observed? If we go back to path here, and it says 658 appears to be our answer there. All right, so we need to go back to this user agent one because we may have missed something. Okay, there we go. 993. Oops, there we go. Did I put the wrong one in there? Let's check again. Yeah, it says 993 for the count, right? She didn't miss anything. Okay. Examine the firewall logs. How many bytes were transferred to the C2 server IP from the compromised web server? Okay, so we're going to get down to that, I assume. But first, we are going to read more into this attack that's going on, apparently, from what I could tell here. Right? Okay, so this is the path. We already read about that. Filtering out benign values. We know King Malware's bunnies use scripts and tools, not standard browsers. Let's filter out all standard traffic. Let's exclude common legitimate user agents. The following query will remove legitimate user agents from the results and only show the suspicious ones, which we will investigate. Okay, that's good to know there. It filters all that noise, right? So it'll be easier to sift through things. You don't have other junk in the way, getting in the way, right? Hey everybody, this is WireDogSec. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, be sure to set to all notifications so you know every time I post to the channel, upload a video, all that good stuff. Let's continue to grow our glorious community here. We are in the cyber trenches. We're not just reporting on it. Be sure to check out my channel as well. I have tons of videos. You can see here over 300 videos ready for you to check out and learn something from. Be sure to review my posts. I'm frequently posting new things to my channel here, including jobs and everything related to that. Also, I have tons of playlists here that you can review, make it more convenient for you. Anyway, happy defending, happy hacking, enjoy the video. But you can see all kinds of crazy things in here. Look at all this. Wow. Web shell stuff, it looks like. Uploading stuff. I mean, but yeah, and they went to client IP again, looks like, but we already saw that one. I mean, we got it right there. So we kind of could tell earlier in the room that that was going to be the one we needed. The output reveals interesting results. By clicking on the client IP field, we can see a single IP address being responsible for all the suspicious user agents. Let's note that down for further investigation and fill in the redacted portions of the coming queries with that IP. Okay, narrowing down suspicious IPs. In real-world scenarios, we often encounter various IP addresses constantly attempting to attack our servers. To narrow down on IP addresses that do not send requests from common desktop or mobile browsers, we can use the following query here. Okay, web traffic, user agent, Mozilla, yada yada yada, count head. Okay, so we should get something like this here. Let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in right there. Okay, that makes it even easier. I mean, if you don't want to click on the one of those fields, the result contains the top IP used by the bandit bunnies. In the search query, the dash in the sort dash count part will sort the results by count in reverse order. It's the same as using the reverse function neat. Let's pick this IP address and filter out to see what footprints of the activities captured. Okay, tracing the attack chain. We will now focus on the selected attacker IP to trace their steps chronologically, confirming the use of multiple tools and payloads. Don't forget to replace the redacted with the IP we noted down previously. Reconnaissance, footprinting. We will start searching for the initial probing of exposed configuration files using the following query here. So we're going to grab this and we're going to replace redacted, remember, with that IP. So don't forget to do that. And we have our handy dandy IP here. We're going to plug in. Okay. And I'm not sure if we need those quotes in there or not, but let's see. I can't remember if we needed those or not. Okay, it seems to be working just fine. All right, we got similar results here. Oh, there's the quotes right there in that screenshot. So there you go there. Sweet. So we can see all kinds of nasty things it's trying to do here. It looks like maybe. All right. Um, okay, you can see status. Looks like status codes over here on the right side. Interesting there. Sweet. Interesting stuff here. And let's see. The results confirms the attacker used low-level tools, curl and wget, and was met with 404, 403, 401 status codes, which we just saw. Enumeration, vulnerability testing. Search for common path traversal and open directory vulnerabilities. So we're going to do this here. All right, so let's get this ready to go here. I'm just going to plug this in here, and then I am going to get our IP address ready to go. I'm going to delete this other stuff here in a minute. Okay, that. And then we need to get rid of this. Now we're good to go. Awesome. Okay, now you can see Etsy password, SU pass WD, SU pass WD evil.site. A lot of stuff here of interest that we can take in our notes, right? If this was a real investigation. And we have similar output as this. The output shows the resources the attacker is trying to access. Let's update the search query to get the count of the resources requested by the attacker. This search query is filtering on the paths that contain dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash or the term redirect in it, as shown below. So obviously, this is, a directory traversal attack is going on here. What they're trying to do. This is done to look for footprints or path traversal attempts. Right, path traversal is another way of saying just directory traversal. To we need to update in the search query and to use escape characters like this. So dot dot backslash forward slash dot dot backslash forward slash. Okay, good to go there. And we're going to grab it. And we should have a similar output as this here. And it looks like I'm going to talk about SQL stuff next, but let's see how this looks real quick. Once again, we're going to grab our IP here and delete the rest of the stuff we don't need. Paste that in, fire it off. Neat. There you go. And that's a lot cleaner. SQL injection attack. Find the automated attack tool and its payload by using the following query. Okay. And we should look something like this, right? Awesome. This is good stuff here. So once again, we're going to do the same thing. Paste. We're going to grab our IP and then delete the rest of this junk. Here we go. All right. So we have similar output. Obviously, this is some kind of automated tool, and we saw something referencing SQL map, right? And if you ever used SQL map before, it can fire off all kinds of interesting payloads in regards to SQL injection attempts. But there's a ton in here. Holy moly, 1,960 events. Says quite interesting results. Reveals attempts to read system files dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash star. Showing the attacker moved beyond simple scanning to active vulnerability testing. SQL injection attacks. Oh, sorry, I just read that. Um, Above results confirms the use of known SQL injection in specific attack strings like sleep 5, a 504 status code often confirms a successful time-based SQL injection attack. Interesting there. So that's not good. Exfiltration attempts. Search for attempts to download large sensitive files, backups, logs. We can use the following query here. Okay, so if we just take a look at this real quick, backup.zip, okay, logs.tar.gz, a lot of times they will zip up, well, obviously they're going to zip up the files, right, because they're going to be too large to transport otherwise, but yeah, they're going to zip up those backups or whatever data they're trying to steal and try to exfiltrate it that way. So GZ, I think that's gunzip, I'm pretty sure that's gunzip, right? Then we have some other things here, so let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it looks like here. And once again, same thing, grab our IP and delete the rest of the stuff we don't need. Like that, plug it in. Having as much fun as I am right now. Okay, path, we have a bunch of GZ stuff here, user agent stuff right there. Okay, looks good to go. All right, you can see the wget stuff they were talking about, curl and all that, right? We already saw that earlier. The results indicate the attacker was exfiltrating large chunks of compressed log files using tools like curl, zgrab, and more. We can confirm the details about these connections in the firewall logs, ransomware staging, and RCE. Requests for sensitive archives like logs.tar.gz and config indicate the attacker is gathering data for double extortion. In the logs, we identified some requests related to bunnylock and shell.php. Let's use the following query to see what those search queries are about. Okay, cool. I'm assuming I'm sure we must have seen that earlier. I mean, if we had sifted through those logs, but we'll definitely see it now, right? Okay, I just want to grab this IP. All right, here we go. Oops, there we go. Plug it in. Awesome. There we go. Ah, look at that. They're running commands and stuff. It looks like who am I? Some other stuff here. A lot of nasty things. Looks like it's going on there. Looks good to go. Above, results clearly confirm a successful web shell. The attacker has gained full control over the web server and is also able to run commands. This type of attack is called remote code execution, or RC for short. The execution of shell.php question mark cmd equals dot bunnylock dot bin indicates a ransomware like program executed on the server. Correlate outbound C2 communication. We pivot the search to the firewall logs using the compromised server IP 10.10.1.5 as the source and the attacker IP as the destination. Okay, so let's do that here. And of course, we'll need to plug in that. Let's do this. Okay, now we're getting our attacker IP there, and we are going to get rid of the rest of the stuff. Okay, there's redacted. Plug it in. All right, we can already see a lot of stuff in there. Allowed, allowed, allowed. Uh-oh, some crazy stuff going on. Destination ports and everything. Okay, so just take a look at the screenshot here. Everything looks good to go there. The query proves the server immediately established an outbound connection to the attacker's C2 IP on the suspicious desk port. Action equals allowed and reason equals C2 contact. Fields confirm the malware communication channel was active. Volume of data exfiltrated. We can also use the sum function to calculate the sum of the bytes transferred using the bytes transferred field as shown below. So let's go ahead and grab that out of here. I think we needed this for our next question there, and yeah, you can see it's redacted there. So let's go ahead and plug this in and grab that answer while we're at it. Okay. Oops, I did the wrong thing. Let me fix this real quick because I put that in the wrong spot. Okay, and yeah, it was allowed. So let's try this again, and there. So there we have it, and there's the bytes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that here, and we're gonna plug this in as our last answer here. Okay, it's going a little bit slow. Okay, well, let's see here. So we already done this. We can see the bytes and everything, right? Down here, conclusion. All right. There's also a huge volume of data transferred from the compromised web server to C2 server. Conclusion, identity found. The attacker was identified via the highest volume of malicious web traffic originating from the external IP. Intrusion vector, the attack followed a clear progression in the web logs. Source type of web traffic. Reconnaissance probes were initiated via curl wget looking for configuration files .env and testing path traversal vulnerabilities, exploitation, the use of SQL map, user agents and specific payloads. Sleep 5 confirmed the successful exploitation phase. Payload delivery. The action on objective was established by the final successful execution of the command cmd equals yada 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 via the web shell. C2 confirmation, the pivot to the firewall logs, source type of firewall logs, prove the post-exploitation activity. The internal compromised server is this one here. Establish an outbound C2 connection to the attacker's IP. Okay. And all right, so I guess they want this in a different format or something. There's our final answer here. I'm not sure what happened, but I manually typed it in. So 126167 is going to be our answer there. So the same thing we have over here. Okay. And if you enjoyed today's room, check out the incident handling with Splunk room to learn more about analyzing logs with Splunk. Also, check out my channel for anything related to Splunk. I'm pretty sure I've done videos on Splunk before, so Joe, go ahead and navigate to my channel and check out anything related to Splunk there. And Splunk is a well-known SIEM tool out there, so I recommend trying to get some hands-on keyboard practice with it if you can. A lot of organizations still use it these days. It's a great SIEM, works pretty good. It's just slow at times from my experience, especially when doing like a retrospective, look back on like 60 days ago, 90 days ago, or whatever. If it's a long time, you need to look back. Sometimes it can be really slow, but then again, you can run it as a job, right? And hopefully the job doesn't expire. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, found it of value, and you want to help support the channel, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload to the channel. Hopefully you're all joining me on this year's Advent of Cyber 2025 event. Have a nice day, and I will see you later.